ang yaman ng ating panitikan, ang pamana ng ating lahi, kasama ang kagawaran ng Filipino ng Pamantasang Ateneo de Manila. Ito ang Sari-Sari, ang pinakamagaling na palatuntunang pang-edukasyon sa 2022 Catholic Mass Media Awards sa bago nitong oras. Martes, ika-4 ng hapon, dito lang sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Follow at Radyo Katipunan in our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Let's take it back to the songs of your time. This is The Throwback on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
The fire we reported at the fire hall is still burning out.
Do you sometimes feel confused or lost in the complications and complexities of life? Do you feel drained, listless, or exhausted from the daily burdens and responsibilities? Why not seek our campus ministers on air every Tuesday from 2 to 3 in the afternoon? Listen to our counselors from the Loyola School's Campus Ministry Office as they ground our lives in our faith, in our school's spiritual tradition. Campus Ministers on Air. Be guided, be inspired, be blessed. Listen to our Campus Ministers on Air.
W-Eagle kami, di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod, todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Ipag W-Eagle, galing hiting at tigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Katipunan. Katipunan.
Coming up next, SKL. Share ko lang, mga kwentong serbisyong kusang loob on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Sa vlog Blue Eagle kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay at tenista sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng buwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod, todo sa kayon, tulong at tulong. Lipat na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan.
Mare, alam mo na ba ang latest? Ano yan, Mare?
Ops, tama na ang chismis. Good news naman. Makinig sa mga kwentong legit at may antig. Mga makabuluhang storya ng paglilingkod. Mga kwentong serbisyong kusang loob. SKL.
Share ko lang.
Kasama ang Jesuit Volunteers Philippines at ng Radyo Katipunan. Ma-inspire sa mga kwento ng paglilingkod ng kusang loob.
Share ko lang.
I-share mo na yan.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're tuned in to Share Ko Lang, where we tell stories that inspire, ignite, and move you into action. Mga kwentong serbisyong kusang loob ng Jesuit Volunteers Philippines. This is Season 2, Episode 4, which will be live-streamed in Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for joining us on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. We are streaming. Don't forget to leave your comments and shoutouts.
We are your hosts, sharing stories that matter. So ako nga po pala si Rafael Canalita, JVP Batch 44, very recent lang. Assigned to the Naga City People's Council, where I was a community extension worker.
Ako naman si JG Sabio, Batch 14, served in Morong, Bataan, and I was an informal teacher.
So, what did you have, remember sa ano? What were you doing there?
Informal teacher for the ITAS.
ITAS.
Yes.
So, today's episode is especially meaningful for those who are asking, where is God calling me to bring us?
Yes.
Because we are joined by two former JVPs, four now Jesuit priests.
Yes.
And
Bigatin.
responding to God's call every day and living their vocation through Ignatian spirituality.
That's right. Our theme this week is Ignatian vocation, as we celebrated the feast of Saint Ignatius last week. Last July 31. It was last Thursday and a holiday for the whole campus, kaya off the air tayo last Thursday. Today we'll talk about discernment, faith, service, and how their time as JVPs helped ignite and affirm their decision to enter religious life.
So excited na ba tayo sa kwentuhan?
Yes!
Before we dive into their stories, so they're already here, they're very, very ready now. Let's take a moment to pray together, okay? Because spirituality is truly at the heart of JVP's purpose. So let me lead the prayer. So in the name of the Father,
Son, Holy Spirit.
loving God, thank you. Thank you for the stories, the memories, and the mission. As we gather today, may we be reminded of the beauty of saying yes to your service. May our hearts be open to grace, our words rooted in help us pray together.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for that beautiful prayer, Rafa. Let's now introduce the JVP to our new listeners and viewers. So, the Jesuit Volunteers Philippines Foundation Incorporated, or JVP, engages in nation building by recruiting, training, and sending college graduates and young professionals to serve as volunteers for 1 year or more in areas of greatest need across the country. We serve through formal education by teaching in schools, also do socio-pastoral work in diocese or parish ministries, and lastly, socio-economic development, serving as community development or livelihood program officers.
Ayun. Marami tayong pwedeng maging papel bilang isang Jesuit volunteer. Pero bago pang kwentuhan, welcome fathers! Hello!
Let's go.
Hello po, magandang hapon sa inyo. Thank you for saying yes to joining us today. So, to begin, no? Let's go right straight into it. No? Can you please tell us about your JVP batch and area of assignment? Saan po ba kayo pinadala? And what kind of work were you involved in?
Okay.
So, maybe we could begin with
Father Munching.
Yeah, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat.
Ako po si Father Monching de Guzman. Nag-JVP ako noong 1986, right after EDSA Revolution. And batch 7, I belong to the single-digit batch. I'm already old. Okay. So I was assigned in Bukidnon, Malipayon. Bukidnon, in San Isidro College, which is a school established by Jesuit missionaries there, Father Krebs and Father Fulam. Okay. So teacher ako ng lahat ng subjects ng first year. Ang galing ko, no? Nagturo din ako ng geometry na ewan ko ano yun.
Math.
So, yun ang aking trabaho doon sa, what they call this, sa Malipayon, Bukidnon.
Alright. Thank you so much, Father Manching. How about you, Father Pat? Same
Just checking the sounds. Can you hear me?
Yes, Father Pat.
Yeah, so
clear.
wow, good to see you. Nako, tagal na kita nakita, JG.
Yes,
Hi,
Father! Techi says hi!
Yes. Anyway, ako naman, I'm batch 11 and I was assigned in Cagayan de Oro. I taught in the high school. So, I think for 1 year, I was teaching and also handling, I was a moderator class. And I would like to believe that really JVP was for me also a year of discernment because I think that led me to discern my vocation as a Jesuit.
So, thank you for sharing, Father Pat. So, andito na tayo sa first part. Quick questions for you and Father Pat and Father Munching. What inspired you to join JVP? Was it a gentle whisper, a clear sign, or maybe something in between?
Okay, and I just want to add lang din for that question. No? Bakit, no? Kasi batch 7,
Yes.
after EDSA, why did you join at that time as well?
Parang hirap sagutin yan. Ang kwento ko sa JVP, hindi nagsisimula sa inspirasyon. Nagsimula sa taon nito, yung, what was the word I was thinking kanina? Yung pagtatagpo. Ganyan. Ayan. Kasi, I was like a few weeks to graduation in college.
Okay.
I graduated March, EDSA was February. And then I met this friend of mine who knows JVP and said, "Oy, Munch, anong gagawin mo after graduation?" Sabi ko, "Wala." Sabi niya, "Join ka ng JVP. Trabaho ba yan?" Sabi niya, "Oo." Yun.
Tama naman.
Sabi ko, "Sige, join ako." Tapos gano'n. So, sige, I'll introduce you to the community. Kasi there's a local community in Cagayan. Okay?
Tama ba?
So when they initially told me what JVP is, it's like a year of volunteerism. And that was exactly, our generation was more of volunteerism.
Yes.
Eh. So we're always out protesting, etc.
Scary
So
pa that time.
social justice, ganyan. So, diba? So inviting masyado yung, the JVP that time. So that's how I got into it.
And you, Father Pat? How were you?
Ako naman, Hindi ko lang maalala mo, JGC Rose, si Nanay
Yes,
Rose,
Cabrera.
Rose Cabrera.
Yes, of course, my boss.
Yes, so si Nanay Rose was very instrumental. Kasi one time, ganun din, parang si Father Monching, I was college, tapos hindi ko alam gagawin ko, tapos si Nanay Rose, we were in the same organization. Tapos sabi niya, uy, baka gusto mo mag JVP kasi he was a student. Sabi ko, ano ba yun? And that was and sabi ko nga, sige na nga, again, maybe just like Father Monching, maybe out of the blue. But then at that point, I was also very interested already in going back to my vocation as a priest. Kasi nga, at one point nung bata ako, parang nag-iisip na ako magpare dati. Tapos, yun nga. Tapos sabi ni Nanay Rose sa akin, tama-tama, Jesuit. Parang may Jesuit nakalagay ng Jesuit. Parang Jesuit. Tapos yun, naisip ko. And then, yun nga, tuloy-tuloy na because of Nanay Rose. So, si Rose was very instrumental in having me join. And sabi ko, talaga? Sige, Nanay Rose. And then, ang nangyari, so, si Nanay Rosing, nainganyo ako mag-JVP. Tapos, because of that, na-assign pa ako sa Cagayan de Oro, where I got to meet the Jesuits. Yeah.
So, okay, that's really connected. Both of you were invited by former JVP volunteers, diba? So, good. So, bago tayo tumuloy sa seryosong usapan, let's just warm up for a few fun questions. I'll go first, ha? So, fathers, what's one thing about your mission area that totally surprised you in a good or funny way? Father Monching, your area.
Yeah, I was very confident about Bukidnon. I thought I know Bukidnon. But what I know about Bukidnon is it was just Balay and Camp Phillips.
Yeah.
And my area was far behind that. Far away. But so
That time, no?
Yeah.
Putik pa siguro.
Yeah. So that pagpunta pa lang doon, it was very challenging. Kasi nga, instead na nakasakay ka ng jeepney, ikaw nagtutulak ng jeepney.
Walang 4x4 pa. So that was a very
yun, hindi ko talaga makalimutan yan.
Struggle talaga just to get
Sakay
there.
kami ng konti, tulak ng kadami-daming parts ng daan. Kasi it's a rough road, walang tulay, tapos muddy and all. So that
First day pa lang.
that was my first impression. Like, hindi man ito ang ang bukid na alam ko.
So, ikaw, Father Pat, in Cagayan de Oro City?
Ako naman, yung medyo adventurous kasi it was my first time out of Luzon ever. Talaga, I've never been out of Luzon.
Yes.
And then, nung binanggit ko nga na there's a possibility, lalo na nalaman ko na kung saan ako ma-assign in Mindanao, ayaw talaga ng mga kaibigan ko, ayaw ng mga parents ko, lalo na sabi na,
of course.
in Ilocano, nagulo dita. They were talking to me. Of course, sabi na, nagulo dita. Awanti kapya. It's not at peace. Tapos ang dami because yung mga nababalitaan, di ba, na about Mindanao and about that. But then I was very pleasantly surprised kasi noong and I remember nagbarko lang kami, no, papuntang from Manila to Radyo. But I remember when my first time, I was pleasantly surprised na, uy, hindi ito yung magulo na Mindanao na
What's
sinasabi.
being shown in the newspapers.
Ang ganda-ganda pala, sabi ko dito and I really fell in love. In fact, even if, sabi ko hindi nga ako nag-Jesuit, because at the time I was discerning already to be a Jesuit or not. Sabi ko kung hindi ako matuloy, kung hindi ako tanggapin ng mga Jesuits, I'll settle here in Cagayan de Oro.
That was so nice.
Yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised that Cagayan de Oro is a very beautiful, very peaceful. Sabi nga nila, the city of golden friendship.
Yes.
So that's good, no? Talking about yung mga expectations natin sa area, no? How about expectations for ourselves naman? So the next question is, may nagawa ba kayo sa area, no, na you never would have expected for you to do, no? Something na in the end, nakayanan yung gawin. So that's a good question. So maybe we could start naman Father Pat. How about Father Pat?
Again, do you know, by the way, now it's like full circle for me because I am now assigned here back in Mindanao.
Yes, Davao.
In Davao. So that's why I'm joining you online. And I keep telling the faculty here in the Ateneo de Davao, my first job was really teaching. At doon ako
Galing.
nagulat na, kaya palang mag-teach kahit walang background because ngayon, di ba, sobrang you really need formal
Technology
training
devices.
to be a teacher. So ngayon sabi ko, parang at that point, yung binigay lang sa atin would be the skills orientation.
Yes.
Then I remember it was even nang nagbibigay sa amin ng
1 week.
RSM skills si Father today, si Gabi. Okay, si
Malilin.
Gabi Malilin.
Yes.
Si Gabi Malilin was also assigned in Cagayan de Oro. Tapos sabi niya, so yun, parang sabi niya, ganito yung style. And one of the things I even said, sabi nila, don't smile before Christmas. Kasi ito pala sabi ko, yung don't smile before Christmas, kung pala yun, it was the American kasi September to December, yung dito June. So talagang ang ko nun, my reputation that I was a very strict teacher. Ang tawag sa akin was Sarge. Pero naisip ko, parang hindi ko parang akalain na I'll be able to teach. And even that, without formal training, I was able to teach. Ibang klase, sabi ko. Now, sabi ko, and that's why that gives me the courage sometimes when I see new teachers. Sabi ko, ako nga, wala masyadong formal training, but I was able to teach.
You did 1 year right away.
Yes. Kumbaga parang sa kung sa paglangoy, talagang tinapon na kaagad ako sa teaching without even any formal training, academic training. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Kami ang JVP talaga, no?
Ganun talaga. Oo.
So how about you, Father Eugene?
Pagdating namin doon, ang sinabi ni Sister, yung si Sister Carmela sa amin na, ikaw sa first year ka, si Nikki sa fourth year.
Yes, Ricky.
So, sabi ng Sister, but lahat ng subject ng first year, ikaw ang magtuturo. Sabi ko, ha? Parang talagang na-shock ako kasi diba?
But your course was in college?
I was a business student, marketing management. So we like religion, we have English, Filipino, math, social studies. Plus, added to that was the geometry sa third year. The most hated subject when I was in high school, pinaturo sa akin. Tapos kaya nga, natatawa ako doon kasi nga, like sa Filipino, Bisaya ako eh. So, I'm not really into Tagalog. So, parang laging ang klase namin laging pantig-pantigin ang sumusunod. Nag-first quarter exam, pantig-pantigin pa rin ang aking mga exam. So, parang kasi walang books. Wala kaming textbook per wala. So, we have to really find a way to, I don't know what to teach the whole year.
Wala pang internet ng time na yun. Nag-get resources na from the computer, di ba?
Ang library namin, mga librong hindi mo magagamit. So, as a matter of fact, kami dalawa ng partner, nagtatanungan kami, do you have any idea what to... Basta, yung pinaka-challenge doon is, there are many times when I had to sit and just think of what to do next, what to teach next.
Yes.
Kasi I don't have the whole year plan. And we were not given the whole year, much time to prepare. Kasi we were not able to go to the area right away. Kasi nga, maulan. So once if maulan, we cannot go to Malipayon. So we were stranded in Kadingilan for 2 weeks. And school years go about to start na in a few weeks na. So when we get there, we have 1 week to prepare. Okay, so for how many preparation was that?
Yes.
Ang dami, hindi ko na maalala kung ilan. Diba? So that was really the most challenging part of the work, which looking back, nagawa naman eh.
Nakaraos naman.
Nakaraos, naitawid.
Magkaibigan pa kayo ng partner mo.
Naitawid.
So parang natawa ako dun eh. Parang pati yung teacher siya mismo yung nag-aaral.
Dapat. Ganun naman talaga tayo eh.
I'm just like one sentence ahead of the students.
Yes. So, now, if your JVP year were a movie or a song, what would be the title be? Father Pat, muna. What would the title be of your JVP year? Song or movie?
Paisip muna tayo. Let's think.
Parang napaisip ko, hindi ko napag-isipan yun Ewan ko, lately, I've been really, ewan ko lumalabas to sa playlist ko eh. Tuloy pa rin. Tuloy pa rin. Parang ganon. Yun yung
Gary. And you, Father Monching?
If it's a movie,
movie.
parang if I were to look back at how I felt the time, parang pasan ko yung daigdig. Diba? Maka-Sharon.
Buhay na buhay yan sa amin.
Kasi
Sa amin ng time na 80s.
parang bigat-bigat ng problema ko while the country was kind of in a transition period.
Yes.
And I was there thinking what to teach my student. Mas mabigat pa sa transition ng Pilipinas.
Kanay comment, ang tawa ko kasi lumalabas yung age ko. Ano ang mga
Ay, naku, huwag kang ganyan. Huwag kang ganyan, pare. Huwag kang ganyan. Ikaw naman, kama.
Yun ang time na si Sharon, sikat na sikat. Pinipilahan talaga yan.
Sikat na sakit talaga. Sikat na sikat talaga.
So, I'm guessing 80s the movie na to. So anyway, shoutout lang doon pala kay Father Pat from the Australia. Okay, so next question. Let's dive into your JVP story. So let's put aside na itong mga icebreaker questions. Let's dive right into the heart of your journey. So question number 1. What made you say yes to JVP? Obviously, there was a point na we were inspired. Pero ano yung point na nag-yes na talaga tayo, na sure na tayo nag-JVP tayo? Was there a moment or story that pushed you to take that leap? Did your parents support your choice? So maybe we could start again with Father BG.
Yeah, because my college days was really spent for, in the language of Ignatius, men and women, meant for others. Because I was very active we have the SIP, the Social Involvement Program. Okay, so I was very active in that, and then we regularly go to the basurahan, mga ganyan. So aside from the academics, my activities are usually outreach. Most of that. So parang it has become part of my formation in college. So when I got to know about what JVP is all about, I didn't see any disconnect. So parang this is the one thing that I want to do this time full time. Di ba? So hindi lang siya extracurricular in between my academics. Okay? So that was really a big help. The formation I got in I've always been in a Jesuit school, never been to any other school. So that's why that in itself was really very, very helpful in and easy for me to and inspired to say yes to JVP. Yeah, that was my.
So parang it's something that you were doing na before.
Yeah.
Continuation lang.
So at least your parents never tried to stop you.
I never told them. Kasi di ba in Mindanao, di ba? Kasi di ba I remember after the EDSA revolution, yung mga Kafgo issues, mga ganyan. So there's like this killing in the mountains, etc. Di ba? And Bukidnon was not excused from that news of violence, di ba? So and since I'm going to Bukidnon, I never told my mother, my father. But I just told them I have a work.
Basta may work. Ano work na?
Dahil sinabi ko, sa Malay-Balay. Kasi yun naman ang alam ko. Pero Malay-Balay, kasi akala ko talaga, ang Bukidnon was Malay-Balay. Malipay is part of Malay-Balay. So, yeah, that's what in Cagayan kasi, we only know of Bukidnon. We relate Bukidnon to Malay-Balay.
Camp Phillips.
How about you, Father Pat? Same question.
Anyway, naalala ko to, lulukoyin ko muna si JJ. Sabi, di ba, may kanta. Sabi ko, JJ, yung kanta yata, awit ng paghanga. Very inspired ako.
Yan! Until now, it moves a lot of people.
But anyway, maybe I really like to quote si Doug Hammarskjöld about this. Si Doug Hammarskjöld, di ba, in his musings, sa markings, former UN Secretary.
Yes.
Ang ganda ng sinulat niya, sabi niya, I don't know when, I don't know how, but I said yes to something or to someone. And that has made a difference in my life.
Yeah.
Parang ganun din eh.
Yes.
One point, I don't know when, I don't know how, I really said yes to JVP. But when I did say yes, that has made the difference in my life. Parang ganun. Yeah, something profound. Pero yun nga, sabi ko nga, in short, at one point kasi, siguro, the more practical is, parang nababahala na yung mga parents ko. Sabi ko, hanggang taon pa ilang trabaho wala. No? Nanginat siya. I mean, in Ilocano you're talking, parang hanggang ngayon parang wala ka pa yung trabaho. Kailangan mo na magtrabaho. Sabi ko nga, sige, kailangan ko pa ng time. So I think, in a way, JBP was like a gap year, di ba? Parang allowed me to,
a lot of us.
yan, win-win, di ba? Parang
Yes.
walang trabaho,
Yes.
volunteer, nag-iisip pa, magpasa, yan. Parang ganun.
So good. And the next question.
Okay, the next question. Let's talk about yung first day memories. Okay, so let's imagine, you said yes na. Tapos na yung ORSEM. So stepping into the first day of your quote-unquote work, no? Hindi alam ng parents natin. JVP. Ano yung memories, no? What were your feelings, no? What were your surprises, no? What did you most remember during your first few days in your area? So let's start again with Father Munching.
My partner remembered this too well kasi nga I was the one confident at first and siya naman marami siyang apprehension kasi sa Manila boy, di ba? So, and this is going to be Mindanao and not just city but not like Pat, but this is mountains.
Yes.
So, they said, no, it's okay, it'll be okay, ganyan. So I was assuring him, di ba? And then, di ba, then back to my first sharing. On the way, I was already shocked because we were more pushing the jeepney than riding it, di ba? So sabi ko, hindi ata tong alam ko. So that when we reached the place, sabi ni Father Krebs, here you are! Welcome to your kingdom. Ganyan siya. Si Nikki was excited to go down the jeep. Yung di siya jeepney, yung jeepney na parang sa World War II. Ako naman, nandun pa sa loob. Sabi niya, ay, wow, siya di ka mababa. Tapos tingin-tingin, dito ba talaga tayo? So, bumaba ako, pero napansin na niya yun. Tapos sabi niya, parang, sinigi chill yan eh. So, hindi. Tapos pasok namin doon, puro puti, kasi umuulan nga.
Yan talaga!
Tapos sabi ni Father Krebs, this is where you will stay. Ko, ha? It's a small sacristy of a wooden chapel na maliit.
Wooden pa.
Wooden lahat. So, hindi makikita ka nga eh. So it was the room is very small, double deck. Tapos yung wood pa hindi pantay. Yung bed. Parang ano lang ang wood
Makeshift
nandoon.
lang talaga.
So, kaya kung matulog ka, first night ko, I have to find a way na swak lahat ng parang gano'n. So that was my first experience. And then yung gabi doon, it's so dilim kasi walang ilaw.
Walang kuryente ng time.
So, kung wala kang ilaw, wala ka talaga makita. Kakapa ka, ganyan. So, that was my first experience there.
Grabe.
The place itself was really something that challenged me a lot. Okay? Hindi naman ako lumaki sa mansion or something. But yun talaga, hindi ko rin naisip na gano'n. And then the thing was that I'm going to stay here for a year. More than school year, di ba? Tapos walang tubig. Tapos parang may banga kami doon. Ganyan. So parang, ano to? So ang dami kong iniisip-isip. Tapos, isa pa to, si Father Krebs, sabi niya, there's a snake in this place, ha? Nakikita namin ni Nikki yan, yung black snake na may pumasok siya doon sa may ano. Tapos, all the more, that really made me uncomfortable.
Grabe.
You know?
So, the first few
for
days
first
talaga.
night ko, hindi ako nakatulog talaga. Kasi yung bed, ang sakit sa likod.
Yeah.
Tapos pangalaw, lagi kong iniisip yung ahas na yan.
Siyempre!
Pero eventually, nakalimutan ko na si
Yes.
ahas. Diba? So,
Kasi
yun.
Filipino and math.
Hindi pa nga shocking yung school kasi hindi pa sinabi sa amin ang subject, di ba? So we met Sister the following day. Okay? So it was just Father Krebs brought us there. Okay? And then so Sister Krebs slept with us slept in that place for a night. And then after that, he went back na to Kadingilan. So kami na ang dalawang naiwan. So yun ang ano namin. So the place itself was very, very very, very what they call this?
Spartan accommodations talaga.
Very surprising.
Tapos putik talaga yung paa mo. Kasi nga yung madulas pa. Ang ganyan.
Grabe.
Yan ang aming quarters.
Actually, di lang sila dalawa doon. May snake pa eh. How about you, Father Pat? First day, no?
First day. Cagayan de
Maybe
Oro.
just backtrack a bit, even the journey going from Manila to Cagayan de Oro. At binabalikan ko nga ngayon, sabi ko, grabe pala yung, ako kasi maybe I came in with a childlike or even trusting disposition. I just want to parang feel like everything for me was an
Yes.
adventure. And I realized, sabi ko, grabe pala yung mga pagsakay pala ng barko. Kasi ang nangyari, ang sobrang tagal ng parang send-off mass noon, na late kami. Now that now looking back, sabi ko na late kami.
Sa pier.
Pagdating namin sa pier, ang nangyari, may nakakumuha na sa place namin, sa barko. Kasi nga,
Late.
looking back, yun pala yung nangyari. Pero at that time, when I was still at JD, parang okay lang. Parang I began to accept things as they are. Halimbawa, natulog lang kami dun sa may corridor, tas ang lamig-lamig.
Wow!
Ganon. So, parang sabi ko, kasama mo ang gulo-gulo, mayroong mga, I remember, ito yung mga, this was the age na there were, the ships then had third class, mga ganon.
Yes.
And then we were in the deck. Then nandun yung mga kasama mo, yung mga yung lahat pamilya na tapos yung mga may katabi may katabi yata akong manok pa yata, nakalimutan ko. Tapos ang nangyari nun,
Kasi walang aircon siguro yung economy.
wala. And then I was even saying na parang ngayon ko lang I just realized that grabe pala yun na I was treating everything like an adventure. Tapos ito na yung my first I remember now looking back na.
Yes.
Kasi kami naman very trusting lang kami para mga bata. I remember going to Cagayan de Oro. Tapos nagtataka ako bakit kami lumilipat-lipat ng mga parang bata ng mga
Place.
bahay. Then maybe years later I realized, teka, ang ibig sabihin nun, wala pala kaming siguradong tirahan. Pagdating namin sa Cagayan de Oro, hindi pa sigurado. So, I remember,
First place.
pinaghiwa-hiwalay pa kami ng mga bahay noon. I remember, ako, tsaka si Choco, who was then assigned in Pakisama. I remember, nag-rent muna ng apartment. Doon lang kami sa isang naalala ko yun along Chavez Street. Kita ko yun. Tapos, ganito pala ang buhay nito. Ako naman, very adventurous. Okay, ganito lang pala yun. But looking back, minsan naisip ko nga, tayo mga tao nagpuput mga lens later. Then, wala pa kaming bahay. And then, I remember, later on, pagdating ko sa klase, it was then, my first impression is that I was very impressed with the Jesuits then. See, I remember, yung naging provincial namin, si Father Jun Viray, was then a scholastic.
Jun Viray, yes.
And he really spoke eloquently. Sabi ko, galing naman ni tawag pa ng brother, sina Brother June.
Brother June.
Nakikinig lahat. Sabi ko, ang galing naman. Tapos, that was then, I was very impressed. Then, at that point, nagsalita na si Father Jules Pastor, who was then the principal. And then, I guess that was it. Parang, that was my impression that, wow, the Jesuits really commanded respect. That was my first impression.
Lalo na Cagayan de Oro.
My first day in Xavier University. Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to our next question. Again, to the heart of your JVP experience. So, do you have anyone who made a lasting impact on you? No? So, going back, parang na tayo, in the middle of the year, probably a student, a host family, or a co-volunteer that really impacted your journey here in JVP. So, maybe we could start naman with Father Pat.
Yeah. The name, I remember there are a lot of confluence of events. No? That time, nagkagulo yata ang Cagayan de Oro because there was a planned coup by Colonel Noble. Yan yung naalala ko na. Tapos,
Noble.
Naalala ko na talagang nagkakagulo na because, of course, the parents of my fellow JVPs, they were all concerned. Kasi nga, nandun kami lahat sa Mindanao, lalo na yung mga taga Manila. Ako naman,
news when it reaches Manila.
Medyo adventurous nga ako. Then, what was happening that time was that hindi talaga namin alam. So, ang mangyari. So, the JVPs who were coming from Bukidnon, they stayed with us, sina Thea, sina Bing, sina Philip. They came down. Kasi nga, magkakagulo na eh. So, I remember we were all pulled up in the JVP house. And then, we were just together. And then, we were praying. Sabi ko, ano kayong mangyari? Kasi ako naman, sabi ko, ano kayong mangyari dito na because we didn't know. because of my own experience of, di ba, yung parang siguro may pagkakon lang talaga, maybe adventure, sabi ko, because of the coups, yan na experience ko rin in Manila of the 1989, ganito kayang mangyari. But then, there was then, I remember, the former provincial, Father R.A. Ocampo. Kaya very significant si Father R.A. Ocampo. He was a former provincial. And at that point, he was, sorry, Amens, baka nagkahalo-halo na yung mga memories ko.
No.
But I remember, I think he gave us an assurance at the time. I think I remember giving us an assurance. Kasi nga, baka naghalo-halo na yung memories ko, no, of really the events. But I remember, amidst all these fears, sabi ni Father Provincial, maybe, I suspect he was also visiting the Jesuits then. Sabi niya, don't need to worry. Okay? There will, if ever you are safe.
Wow.
Because that's very symbolical sa akin yun. And in fact, he was the provincial who eventually accepted me to the Jesuits. Pero sabi ko, that was someone who was assuring us that all shall be well amidst all this chaos na nangyari sa Cagayan de Oro noon. But I think that was he was a very significant figure from there. And I think at that point, he was the one who already told the Jesuits in Cagayan de Oro. Naalala ko noon yung mga sina Joey Galvez, sina Manox, to take care of us JDP. So I really felt safe there. And I think very significant yun. That was a very significant experience for me.
Okay.
How about you, Father Manching?
Yeah, ako naman, I get my, what they call this, my energy, my inspiration, my get going from my partner. Kasi nga si Nikki, di ba, I don't know him here in Ateneo, but somebody whispered to me, ay, konyo yan. I don't know what konyo is in the language of this university. Di ba? So parang, naman ako, yung tipong, ano yun? Parang gano'n. Tapos English ng English siya, di ba? So parang, sabi ko, ito yung partner ko doon. Tapos dalawa lang kami. So parang gano'n. But you know, when we got there, all the things that I thought about him did not happen, He was very simple, never complained, he did his job regularly. Si AT commandant siya, but never been to ROTC because he's an American citizen. So nagtatanong nga siya sa akin, ano bang ginagawa? Ako rin exempted kasi asthmatic. Diba? So wala kaming kalam-alam doon. But every night we would sit down and do our lesson planning. And then he would always cook. Nagluluto siya. But he never pressured me to cook. And he never said, hindi ka nga luluto dito, kumakain ka. Wala kang marinig.
Grabe.
And as a matter of fact, sabi niya, Mosh, let's plant. Nag-garden pa kami. Nagdala siya ng mga seeds. So parang, pero ang pinaka sa akin doon is that wala siyang reklamo.
Wow.
Ang iniisip lang namin doon, paano namin maproduce ang lesson. Basta meron kaming toyo at kanin. At ito pa, kasi nga nag-agree kami 9 p.m. prayer. Kamasan, mag-aaral kami, ganyan-ganyan. Which is already 9 o'clock na. We stop and then we go to our room and pray and then we go back and work.
Galing.
So you see, ganyan siya. He leads that. So ako sumusunod-sunod. Parang gano'n. Tapos kung minsan maglalaba kami ang layo. So, matangkad naman siya. So tutulungan niya akong magbuhat. Kasi nga, di ba, ang mga labada pag mabasa, mabigat. So in other words, he was a very simple guy. He never complained. That's why nga, parang that in itself, encouraged me even more to give myself to the mission. But aside from that, I have plenty of students. They had to walk 2-3 hours, sometimes 4 hours to school.
Layo nga.
Okay? Alam ko yun. Kasi nga, kinakausap namin yung mga bata. So while we have the luxury of waking up at 7 a.m., sila, alas 3 gising na para maglakad.
Grabe.
Diba? So talagang, at saka yung iba dyan, ang baon kanin lang. So, yung mga yung mga images, hanggang ngayon, nai-imagine ko pa nga yung mga mukha ng mga bata pero hindi ko na maaalala yung mga pangalan. Parang it was like tattooed, parang it's indelible. That encouraged me to persevere even more. Diba? If these people they have to walk I don't know how many kilometers every year for every day for a future they're not even assured kasi di naman sila makapunta ng college. How much
Just
more
a
for me
chance,
na, you know, I'm already given a degree and all I have to share it to them. So that's really what keeps me going there. All this
grace.
Naka-inspire. Pero ano lang, do you still talk to your mission partner?
Yes, we're very much in touch. Even close to the family.
Recently, they were
got married.
the Malipayan boys. They had they had a celebration.
He hosted my 60th birthday.
Yes, birthday.
In their place.
So let's talk about now's the time we will talk about your discernment. So this will be very personal and often a mysterious process. So when did the idea of becoming a Jesuit become to take root, and why the Society of Jesus? Did your JVP experience influence this in any way, Father?
Yeah, I shared to ganina na before this that grade kinder all the way to college I'm in a Jesuit school in Xavier University, but never was inspired to become a Jesuit. Okay, but JVP started it. Okay,
thank you.
Parang yung kasi nga sabi ko, it's nice to live a life that you're constantly giving, di ba? Without counting any cost because there's nothing there You don't get any reward. Yung para ka doon yung bituing walang ningning.
Another reference.
Wala namang mag-appreciate sa'yo. Wala ganyan. So, di mo nga alam kung maintindihan ka ng mga bata, kung anong impact nito sa mga bata. Alam mo yung gano'n. So, parang... Pero hindi ako na-discouraged doon. I was not frustrated by that. So it's the life that I want in my heart at that time, wanted to pursue. But after JVP, I needed a confirmation So nag-drug pusher ako. I joined the Astra for 2 years. So just to find out, kasi I don't want to live the rest of my life with what ifs. What if? So I go, kasi mag-corporate world muna ako. So I joined the Astra for 2 years. And then there, nakikita ko talaga, I don't want to sell drugs for the rest of my life. Okay. So I went back to Cagayan. Why Cagayan? Because I thought all the priests are Jesuits.
Oh.
Remember that? That's how innocent I was. Because in Cagayan, si Hayes was, I think, a Jesuit. Our parish priest was, our parish was under a Jesuit parish. So si Father Sebrero, who married my parents, who baptized me. And then at one point, was there, Ferriols. So, akala ko talaga, and then, lahat ng mga pari, nagmimisa sa amin, puro mga Jesuita. So, bumalik ako doon. Kaya nga sabi, I remember si Father Jun Veray, ang SD ko that time, he said na, maybe you want to consider also diocesan priest. Sabi ko, ano yung diocesan priest?
May ibang version
so,
pa pala.
that was the first, when I was discerning, that was the first time that I knew that there's a diocesan and there's a religious, congregation. So that and then the rest, brought me to where I am now.
So there, Father Pat, when did the idea of becoming a Jesuit begin to take root?
Yeah, as I mentioned nga, si Father Father Rene Ocampo, R.A. Ocampo, pumanaw na siya. And then, after that, at one point, he assured us that the Jesuits would take care of us. He said, doon ko nakilala ngayon yung mga scholastics, the Jesuit scholastics. Father Junvio eventually became the provincial, sina Joey Galvez, sina Manox. And I remember joining them for basketball. Pero ito pa, siguro ito nakatulong. Again, it's an impure motivation. One time, they invited me to the Loyola House. Sabi ko, uy, masarap ang pagkain ng mga Jesuits.
Same here, ganyan ako.
Parang masarap itong... Kasi, syempre, kami, mga JVP, naghahanap din ng mga simpleng pakakain. Uy, masarap to. But then, all the more, I was impressed with Father Jules Pastor. Si Father Jules Pastor, okay? At one point kasi, again, this is another story. I had as I mentioned to you, I was a very strict teacher. So at one point, I had a student. His name is Invinsor Meneses.
Okay.
And then, I remember, very crucial sa vocation ko si Invinsor. Eventually nga, nung si Invinsor, sabi niya, isa sa mga very memorable na teachers ko si Father Pat, sabi niya. Kasi at that point, for some reason, mainit yung ulo ko, to make a long story short, parang I really cast out my anger at si Invinsor. And then, for some reason, nakwelyohan ko siya. Tapos sabi ko nga, yung sa paggigigil ko sa kanya, nanggigigil ako ngayon. Tapos, at one point, ang sabi ni Vinsor sa akin, hala ka, magkuhan ko sa akong papa, sa akong maging kanan, I will report you. Magkuhan siya si Invinsor nun. And then, si Invinsor naman, nakakatawa kasi pag kuhan ko na sabi ko, bahala ka siya. So eventually, he did report me to his parents. So, eto ngayon, nagalit yung parents kasi sabi niya, kami nga na itong anak namin, hindi namin nakakwelyohan. Itong ikaw pa, Mr. Falguera, kinikwelyohan mo itong anak ko ganyan. Yeah. It turned out, nakakatakot kasi military pa yung papa nun. Nakakatakot yun eh. But then, the mother turned out to be a teacher. Sabi niya,
ayan.
Alam mo, Mr. Falguera, teacher pod ko. We were talking in Cebuano. And then, kasabot mo kaanayin mong no, debate. But then, ganahan yung tanga, parang, but it is our deep respect for the Jesuits, yun siya. Especially for Father Pastor. Nga, kami nga, nagkwan mi nga, wala mi mag-file of case kanimo siya. And that actually struck me how the Jesuits, again, started with Father R.A. and then Father Jules Pastor, how they really commanded respect and love. And I realized na I also want to be part of this company, this congregation, if you could call it, this brotherhood.
Society.
Who would command respect and who would really lalo na si Father Jules Pastor, sabi ko, grabe, napaka-compassionate talaga niya na Jesuit. And very memorable sa akin si Father Jules because years later, he passed away, no, sa I heard of heart attack. Tapos sabi ko, but then, eventually, when I became a regent, I was reassigned. No, ito, when I was already a scholastic, my vocation was reaffirmed because memories of Father Jules Pastor came about again. And I said, ito yung Jesuit na gusto kong tularan. And in a way, you could call it a conversion experience that maybe from a very strict na nangungwelyo na teacher, I became more siguro compassionate, more kind perhaps. You could call it. And that in my port of discernment is that ito siguro yung naging conversion din ni Saint Ignatius. I got to learn that later. And then years later, this was also now my conversion story. And I guess that started my discernment, my vocation as well as a Jesuit.
JV, yeah. Thank you. So, your segment is next?
Alright, okay. So, shout out lang po, no? Marami nagko-comment. Sabi po ni Ma'am Heidi Gustillo, Father Munching, she's been grinning daw since the very beginning. Batch 7 daw yan.
Yeah, Heidi Gustillo.
Alright. So, another comment from Thea Estrella. Ang saya daw pakinggan ng SHE. What is SHE? Significant Human Experiences. Wow. And another comment from Sir Rene San Andres.
Yes, RCA.
So, kaya daw considered na batch valedictorian daw si Nikki Delange kasi he lived out the values daw. Would you agree?
I agree.
Alright. Okay. So, Ignatian spirituality is really core to JVP talaga, no? Some questions, no, related to that as Jesuits, no. How do you carry that with you today in your religious life? Ignatian spirituality. Siguro very short phrase lang or how you may answer that question. So let's start again with Father Manch.
I always see spirituality as a way of seeing and responding.
Yes.
That's what I learned from Ignatius. Ignatius is a way of seeing in the world and a way of responding it. He sees God in all things.
Spirituality, yeah.
That's Ignatius. He sees God in all things, and how does he respond to this God in all things? magis, the love. Okay, so service, the person. So in that spirit, I try to live my priesthood. Sometimes it's difficult to see God
Of course.
in some things, some people.
Lalo na sa amin.
but love tames it.
Yeah.
diba?
Has to,
So
has
that's
to.
why you don't get to respond to how you make yourself feel with what you see in some things. Diba? So that's the way I live out my Ignatian spirit. Because Ignatian spirit is so practical.
Yes.
Okay? Ignatius didn't go to a university to learn it and wrote it. It was really an experience.
It is.
That's how I understand it. Giving it for many years, I understand. Ignatius really has a way of seeing things and a way of responding to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
good. How about you, Father Pat? Same question.
Maybe just to dovetail on what Father Munching already mentioned, it's really seeing God in all things, finding God in all things, and more to deepen the magis. I think it all the more doing and being, they go together. The more you do more, the more you become more. Parang ganun. So that magis is becoming the best version of yourself, doing the best version of yourself according to God's will. As long as you allow God's Spirit. And in the same way, this is how Ignatius saw himself as a child. And I think sometimes I see myself as a child, seeing myself as a child, being formed by God, being formed by, again, and standing on the shoulders of brother Jesuits who've come and gone. And this is something, and this is a common to be part of a company of brothers that have been made a significant contribution to the church, to God. And I guess that's something which I find more, and maybe I'd like to quote, kasi dito sa Ateneo de Davao, we have, under the leadership ni Father Carol, who's Ateneo de Davao president, he mentioned the 3 S's in trying to process this, in terms of the way our way of proceeding. And I think this is very, put together by Ignatian spirituality. It is synodal, strategic, and very spiritual. And I think when we have a lens, especially Ignatian, through the lens of Ignatian spirituality, you begin to see the world as good. You begin to see the world as holy. And then I guess that's where you begin to, yun nga yung sinabi ni Father Monch na finding God, to seeing God in all things. And when you put on that lens, it's what I guess our founder, St. Ignatius, was able to experience, something mystical, to be able to see again, and this is, and I guess I quote si Gerald Manley Hopkins about this, there lies the deepest precious things deep down, sabi nga ni Ika, na the more you begin to see that it's always the freshness of things, to see things anew. And like now, parang gano'n, I'm wearing glasses, but then when I put on something as Ignatian spirituality, things become more clearer. Parang gano'n. I think that's what Ignatian spirituality is. It gives you a certain lens, and to be able to see God, to find God in all things, and especially within you, because the more you do more, the more you become more. The more you do good, the more you become more and good, and then that's when you begin to discover the divine spark. And that's really what we all are. We are all made in the image and likeness of God.
Yeah.
And that's the divine
We're all
spark
trying to be good.
brings us always closer. Doon tayo papunta, di ba? Diyan naman tayo papunta. And that's really I guess, I'm very grateful to the church, because in a way it started me on the longest journey of my life, which is the internal journey. And I guess even now, in approaching the twilight of my years as a Jesuit, twilight na ba, o dwindling, naisip ko nga parang lumalalim. There's always something new about our Ignatian spirituality.
Thank you, Father Pat. So, dito na tayo. Anong tawag na for both of you, what advice could you give someone discerning their path? Whether religious life, volunteer work, or simply wanting to live with more purpose?
Yeah.
So, Kuha, Father Pat, can you start that? Do you have any advice? What advice would you give someone discerning their path? Whether religious life, volunteer work, or simply wanting to live with more purpose? Short lang, ha?
Okay. It takes, yun nga, bukang bibig ni Father Jack Carroll, courage. I would like to believe that courage, just have courage. Courage is a combination of fear and trust.
Very good.
Yeah. So just have
courage. And you, Father Munching, what advice?
Always, constantly give every day.
Just give
The
talaga.
gift that you receive each day.
So, sa reflections, anong tawag nun, Rafa? Mamili ka dyan.
So I hope that future mga Jesuits are listening to us today. Okay, before we end, let's do a quick round. No? One last final run through lang. Siguro very short answer lang, no? Para lang just to end our session. What is one line or motto that keeps you going? No? So you are at this point in your life. What keeps you going? One short motto. So, sino ready? Nag-iisip si Father.
One line motto that keeps you going.
You wanna go first, Father?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Mayan ang impact.
How about you, Father Pat?
Amare et servire.
Amare et servire. Wow.
To love more, to serve more.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Father.
Thank you.
Your stories are a gift and a gentle reminder that vocation is really about responding in love. Ay, si Father. Your heart, yeah.
Heart.
Okay.
Wala tayong heart dito.
So, anong tawag nun? To our listeners, if something moved in you today, maybe it's your turn to pause and ask, Lord, where are you calling me? You don't need to have all the answers, just the heart to listen. God calls us each of us in unique and beautiful ways.
And sometimes, it starts with just showing up. Saying yes to opportunities to serve, like joining JVP or even joining the Jesuits, no? Nax, vocation.
Join Jesuit.
Alright, the path may not be clear at first, but every act of love and generosity moves us closer to our true calling. So,
thank you also to those who joined us and left comments, thumbs up, and hearts sa Radyo Katipunan and JVP pages. Let's see what they said and shout out sa kanila.
okay, shouting out, no? Nandito po si Sir Tim Gabuna. Actually, he's asking, no, ano daw favorite ulam ni Father Munching sa Malipayon? Tuyo. Okay, shouting out. Charmaine De La Cruz, Miss Shine Sim Ruiz, no? Sir Rene San Andres, Ma'am Thea Estrella, and Ma'am Heidi, and Ma'am Mariluit.
Okay,
all
so
here.
JVP is now in its 46th year of sending volunteers to serving all over the country in areas where they're needed most. We invite young people, college graduates up to 35 years old to get to know JVP. Who knows, you might be part of Batch 47.
If you'd like to support the mission of JVP, donations in cash or kind are always welcome and deeply appreciated. It will definitely go a long way. You may also consider becoming a JVP Foundation member and join our growing community of mission partners. So to learn more about JVP, visit jvp.org or follow us on Facebook and Instagram soon. Or better yet, visit us at room 220 MVP building in the Ateneo de Manila University, Quezon City. The world needs people who dare to love generously, just like our guests today.
So thank you to our guests, Father Munching and Father Pat,
Thank you.
for sharing their hearts and vocations with us today.
Shout out to the SKL team, Kuya Blas, Shine, Mima, Kit, Tenten, JG, Lara, Leia, Rafa, Ross, Jed, and Jennifer.
Big thanks as well to the hardworking Radyo Katipunan team, Justin, Jojo, and Brian.
And to our dear listeners, if something resonated with you today, maybe it's your turn to say yes. You don't need all the answers, just the heart to show up.
This has been SKL, Share Ko Lang, Serbisyong Kusang Loob on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Catch us next time as we feature other JVPs who are now Jesuit priests in line with our theme, Ignatian Vocation.
And this has been Rafael Canalita signing off.
And this is JG Sabio signing off.
Thank you for joining us. Catch us again next week, same time, 5 to 6 p.m.
Stay brave, stay generous, and stay listening. Remember, basta good news, share ko lang. Thank you, Father Pat.
Thank you, Gigi. Thank you, Gigi. Thank you, Raf.
Pagod ka na ba sa mga chismis? Fake news? Bad news? Good news naman! Isishare namin sa inyo ang good news. Samahan ang Jesuit Volunteers Philippines na maghatid sa inyo ng mga balita at kwentong totoo at may puso. Makinig sa mga istorya ng pagtutulungan, pagkakawang gawa, mga kwentong Serbisyong Kusang Loob. KSKL. Share ko lang. Huwebes, 5:00 ng